Hey there, everybody. My name's Alex Andrew.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back with another episode of Your Healthy Living, having fun, taking it easy, doing the voodoo that we do oh so well, right?
Yes,
I love your dress today. That's
Thank
really
you.
Nice. It's kind of like that 60s vibe, isn't it?
Yep.
It's kind
of groovy.
I like it. Totally groovy, dude.
Yeah.
You know, we had a little
nice
80s party for my daughter this weekend. That was fun. We got all dressed up. Did you see the pictures?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I haven't.
Gretchen was all kind of dressed up, and I had to,
cool.
of course, I had nothing else. I put a wig on and put a baseball hat over and acted like I was a rocker.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's awesome.
And, well, first of all, I want to say that Dr. Shasta, if you don't know, is a wonderful acupuncturist. She knows how to stick
Andy.
people with needles,
Yeah.
right? But you've been very successful at doing the
Helping
prenatal.
women
It's not
conceive.
prenatal.
Yes. Fertility acupuncture.
That's what it is. Yes.
Weight loss and pain management. Yeah.
So you've been doing that for 25
years, yeah.
Okay, so you've been there doing it for a long time.
Yep, I have, and that's part of how I met Pam, who's our guest
you did?
today.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have my friend Pamela Johnson here today, and actually what she's doing now is what she was telling me she was dreaming of a few years ago when we met.
How
And now
neat.
she's actually doing it.
That's awesome.
And I'm super happy. So we have Pamela Johnson. She is a transformational life coach and teacher, specializing in the Enneagram, which you seem to know something about.
I took an Enneagram course about 10 years ago, and my mother did some work with it as a psychiatrist. It's really cool stuff.
Wow. Well, she was sharing it with me years ago, and I never really put it. I never really put it
You
to
never
use.
took the test?
I don't believe that I did. It's not.
Well, there's all sorts of tests. You just go online and take them, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
cool.
she's really passionate about it, and she's been certified by the Deep Coaching Institute to coach both personally and professionally. And we have her here today. She works with clients to transform their lives and help them realize choice is possible. Choice to live your dream, choice to live in a dream relationship, which she is living in.
Yeah, and she made it after you last talked to her. She got to where she needed to be, and I bet the Enneagram helped, and we're going to talk about that.
And
Yep.
she's choice to have the relationship of your dreams with your kids. Inspired action aligned with inner truth nudges you to awaken your true potential by cultivating your inner landscape. So I see you as a seer of what's possible for people and a listener for what they don't even know is possible, and then supporting them through some of these more ancient Enneagram traditional thinking that you said your mother believes in and used.
Oh yeah, it's been a great tool for her with her psychological patients to help understand, and it's a great communication tool, right? Right, Pamela?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, really, depending on what type you are, you're speaking different languages. And the Enneagram helps you kind of translate and come into a way of communication.
And it's pretty accurate from what I know. I mean, the neat thing, and we'll talk about this later in the program, is they got these 9 different things, and you always kind of understand, you learn what each one is, and you kind of want to be one because you know that's what you are. And then you take the test and you're like, dang, nabbit, that's not who I am. But it helps you not only understand others, but understand self. And I think that's kind of where you work through this, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Through the lens of yourself. And so really it's funny because the ego doesn't really want to show up to be transformed. And so when you start getting closer to that, and the Enneagram is one method. So identifying type, the ego doesn't want to be put into a box.
Right.
But the personality is what keeps us in the box. Once you realize what that box is, expansion is near.
Wow. This is going to be fun, so stay tuned to the KIYS Video Web Radio Network, and we'll be right back after this really short commercial break. Stay tuned to KIYS and Your Healthy Living.
At Way of Wellness, we help to rebalance the hormones of your body so that it can heal itself. Way of Wellness offers acupuncture, Chinese medicine, functional nutrition, Qi yoga, and wellness coaching. Call 408-615-1995 and start living the life that keeps us well.
Hey, everybody. My name's Alex Andrew.
I'm Dr. Shasta.
We're back with Your Healthy Living, and we're talking about personalities, and I just love this subject. It's so much fun.
Well, this just sounds really amazing in the way that if you can figure out what your personality is like more, then you know how to work more with the other types of personalities, what your strengths, your weaknesses, and as you're saying, being able to transform. So tell us a little bit about why you have chosen this as your work in the world.
Well, I have a dream that we live in a world filled with peace.
Thank you.
And my part of contributing to that is attuning to our inner world. Thoughts, emotions, sensations, intuition. And once you are tuned in there, it can get kind of dark and scary sometimes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage to go through some of the dark discomfort. But on the other side of that is presence. And when you're in presence, you have the power of choice in creating a life that you love. People are hungry for what's real, true, and authentic. Human beings have become people of the inner world, indwellers.
Right.
If you consider for a moment that we have explored the entire continent, all the continents, and now what's left, the new frontier, is taking a U-turn inside of yourself.
Wow, that's a good point. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And, this whole aspect of finding who we are inside to be able to change things, because I think too many people kind of grow up in the world expecting change to happen by everybody else changing things, and it just doesn't start there. That's got to be, I guess, what you stumble onto all the time.
Absolutely. It's, make my husband take this course so I can be happier.
So, I like that. Honey, take the course. But it's true, because what you're talking about, having your husband even know that, knowing what your kids, your coworkers, your spouse, knowing what they're all about on the Enneagram side too, helps you communicate with them better, let alone knowing who you are. And that's part of the whole process. Is that right?
Absolutely. They're really not trying to make you unhappy. That's really not their intention. And so when you can understand and identify their patterns that are running underneath them, you can start to have the Enneagram act as a translator. How can I show up there? What's happening over there? And you drop into presence.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Awesome. So what is the difference between a coach, a consultant, and a therapist, and which one are you?
I love this question. So when people are considering, do I need a coach? A consultant is someone who will tell you what to do. A psychotherapist is someone who is licensed and can diagnose and even prescribe.
And they say, how does that make you feel?
And they say,
I know. I know. I lived it. I lived it. Anyway, sorry.
That's
Didn't mean to interrupt.
I love it. Coaching is partnering with a client really to inspire and to enhance their professional and personal goals and potential.
Wonderful. So how does presence play a role in the whole thing?
Well, presence is being fully alive in the moment. And when we're in presence, that's where the power of choice is. And I keep saying that because really, whether a client comes and they say, well, I'm sad or I'm angry, well, how do you know that? How do you really know that? Well, you can think it or you can feel it in your body. And it's the body, the center of intelligence of the body that's sitting here right now. You can't grasp onto thoughts. You can't grasp onto emotions. Right. And so being present is being with the body. And if the body is experiencing sadness or anger, that's leading to something. Right. And we can access more information when we're present.
I believe that.
And one of the things I've noticed, too, when you're in those sad and angry states, because of the way your presence is, it can even make you ill and yes. not make you feel well and create dis-ease inside
yes.
your body.
Yeah, but. And I mean, the heart in Chinese medicine is the holder of the soul and the spirit, and the heart has a million different things that it's translating all the time, and the vagus nerve is connected from our brain to our gut. And so our gut instincts tell us things that are even more than our brain, and everything's a million things all at once. And as you're saying, the more present we are, the more we can sense everything, and more is possible.
Mm-hmm. And then that help kind of line your meridians and
yes,
stuff?
And then all the endocrine hormones will work better, and you'll be able to be more fertile, you'll live longer, you'll be younger.
Have more hair.
I like that. It's all connected, right? So that's what that great oneness, getting back to neutral. Mm-hmm. And I guess what you're teaching is an ancient prescription of discovering what is your personality type and how does it interact with the others, so that you can stay in a peaceful state longer.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you coach people. Like, what are some of the things that you've coached them to do that you're, really proud of and excited about?
Yeah. So, for example, there is a business partner. One is a peacemaker, doesn't want to rock the boat. They want to keep everything inside, and they're kind of passive aggressive. Where the other one is very strong-willed and overbearing, almost kind of would take on the term bully. So in that situation, maybe the first person wouldn't necessarily speak up. And so for that person to become present, they would need to be really present in their body, feel their feet on the floor, and actually state their opinion. Because the personality type of a type 9 isn't necessarily somebody who would state their opinion all the time.
Mm-hmm. And then which one would the bully be part of here on your I mean,
I kind of knew we were going to go to that one. But
I mean, you haven't.
I think it doesn't necessarily, it's
Is
not
there
just one.
Yeah.
Right?
It can be in any of them.
Yeah, it can be any of them. I mean,
Okay.
to name it bully, but you have the what we call the aggressive types, which are the type 7, the type 8, and the type 3, right? So where their agenda may be more on the table versus not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to maybe, as we're talking this, McKenna, if you can put a little graph of the Enneagram, that would be cool so people can see how this circle works. But
This is really interesting.
But the thing when you take the test, you find out who you are and where you're at. There's other avenues to that personality trait, and of course, I wanted to ask you this question. Hopefully, I have time before the break. Is the theory that our personalities and our Enneagram number based on our environment and what we've learned through our experiences, or does it tend to be more of a genetic type of a thing from where we're born? And I know that's an out there question, and I just came out of the blue with it. But does anybody really know?
Yeah,
It's a good question.
The jury's still out on that one, and you're not. People have asked me that before. Is when an infant at age about 9 months starts to realize I'm separate than mommy, and then later on, not so far after that, they start to develop their ego. You really can't get inside there and understand, right, at that young age.
Right.
My school of thought is that we come in with a purpose. And so if you're coming in with a purpose here on earth, then you're going to have a certain personality type that's going to serve that purpose and serve your learning.
I like that. That's
That's
really
a good
cool.
attitude.
Because, to me, being born, my theory is we're born into just this loving existence, and we start to be shaped if we have that ego seed or whatever, because really the personalities are an ego, right? If we have that ego seed, that then again is kind of shaped by where our environment is and what we learn and so on and so forth to get there. But
In
but
Chinese
that's
medicine,
fascinating.
they have 5 different body types, and each body type has a different personality and different ways of being, both positive and negative, and different ailments that would accompany that body type out of balance. And Ayurvedic medicine has 3 different body types, which are very similar to the 5, and has personality types that go with them also. So that would tell me that there is some genetics
Right.
to certain ways of being, according to these older medicines. But I also think it's the epigenetics, which is what genes are turned off and which ones are turned on in the environment that the person is raised in.
What a cool app that would be to be able to blend the Ayurvedic, the Chinese, and the Enneagram, and just to be able to input that and have it just kind of come up with this activity chart that shows where you fit. I think that would be really neat.
Yeah.
McKenna, work on that one. You don't have enough
Would
to
be
do.
really neat.
But I'm really excited about learning how you use this a little bit more in your coaching practice. And we've talked about it a little bit, but I studied this thing about 10 years ago, and I've completely forgotten most of it. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm so excited about it, because you're kind of I'm going to go grab my binder that has everything in it and read up on it, so I can go out tomorrow and check everybody else out and guess what number they are. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I do traditional Chinese medicine, and that includes 5 different branches: acupuncture, massage, yoga, tai chi, qigong, herbal medicine, and nutrition. it is amazing in helping the body heal itself, that it releases the body's natural endorphins, serotonin, and seems to rebalance the hormones of the body.
Lower back pain was taken care of very quickly. 6 treatments and I was pain-free. And this was like 3 years ago and I've remained pain-free.
I've grown up in the Bay Area and I have had my own practice for over 15 years. When I was 12, I decided I want to be an acupuncturist, and by the time I was 25, I was licensed.
I have thyroid condition and stress, big time. When I walk out, I'm feeling like a whole different person. It's definitely a blessing to be able to come here.
I love helping women have babies, and the day that they actually get pregnant, the look in their eye is like, it's the best thing ever.
I've been struggling trying to get pregnant for the past 3 or 4 years. I came to Shasta. I would totally recommend her to anyone out there that is trying to get pregnant. She will do great for you.
Way of Wellness has to do with living a life that keeps us well.
Hi there, this is Alexander with It's All About the Show. You know, I've been with Money Concepts since 1994, and they have been the primary catalyst for my success as a financial advisor. If you're looking for a career change and you want to help people for a living, check out moneyconcepts.com/ALEE or call 946-8378 today.
Hey, everybody. My name's Alex Andrew.
I'm Dr. Shasta.
And you're listening, watching, viewing Your Healthy Living.
Yes, we are.
So we're having a fun time learning about each other's personalities so we can communicate better. Aren't you feeling better already about our communication?
I think this is really, really neat.
It is. It's
and
really fun.
And I just think the older traditions had these types of tools to help people understand how to communicate and who they were and their place in society. We had a caste system, which originally the caste system was not meant to be you're stuck in the lowest system in India. No, it was more the personality type that the person was actually exemplifying that got put into that position, and everybody was honored in the position they were in. It has been changed into something else. So this is just neat to know how. Like you're a peacemaker. You're number 9.
I am a peacemaker, but she did say something that I'm passive-aggressive. I do have a little bit of a passive-aggressive tendency. So
maybe...
And it really does happen. And it kind of, to double on what you were saying, they had thousands of years to produce this stuff. I mean, like acupuncture and
Ayurveda.
All this stuff. They're talking 5,000-6,000 years of looking at people and recording this stuff.
I know. So I just think this is really, really incredible that you've brought this into a personal and professional coaching
so cool.
program, and I'm really proud of you too. So when did you discover the Enneagram, and how has the Enneagram played a healing part of your life?
Well, the most profound piece of my finding the Enneagram was on my own path of healing. So 7 years after I survived the World Trade Center on 9/11, I found a therapist who did EMDR, and she did the Enneagram. And, the impact of 9/11 on me was, left me searching for more meaning. Why did I survive? Why? And also, when I noticed that I was processing the event very differently from maybe some friends, and what I realized for myself was that we are not broken. We do not need to be fixed, and there's an expansion. So in my healing, I was able to integrate a lot of the darkness that I experienced, as well as the extreme light that came as well.
That's so cool. You can't
really
have
beautiful.
darkness without light, right?
Yeah.
And so that's an energy. And the way I look at it, as long as we're alive and we have this energy, our goal is to continue to fuel that light inside us. And because with the light, you can see where you're going. You can find yourself. Yes. You can have choice because you can see what's available. Yeah. When you're in darkness, you're in a little shrouded, cocoon.
Mm-hmm. So how can someone find out about their Enneagram type?
Oh, fantastic. So I actually have a gift for all of your listeners.
Cool.
And a way for them to come in contact with me through my email at info at I'm forgetting. Pam at coachwithpam.com.
Info at coachwithpam.com.
Either one of those will work. Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple things. There are some online tests. Some of them are accurate and some of them are not. I find that when you go through a self-guided like a self-guided discovery of your type. And that's what I'm offering is an audio and a way for listeners to discover their type.
And that's on your website.
It's not. So they would have to send me an email at info.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Okay.
So info@coachwithpam.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does the Enneagram play out in someone's life? Can you give us some examples?
Yeah, so, in everyday life, we are paying attention to a very small percentage of our life. And so I'm just going to throw out the number 10%. So we're paying attention to about 10% of our life. And in that 10%, we're using our rational minds. What we're not opening up to, or what the Enneagram allows us to open to, is the other 90% that's available. And when we become part of and integrate the full human potential, then we have more choice, more power, and more alignment to our purpose.
And I think that's why we see, typically the people who are more successful or have worked themselves into that realm are using more of their mind and their body experience because they're able to see it, right? I call it a frequency. You're either on an AM frequency or you're looking at a 4K TV. Which one would you rather be able to see what's available? And that's inside you. I like that.
Yeah, that is really great. What process can participants expect to experience when working with you?
Well, I call it the soul path, and path is an acronym. So personality, identifying your Enneagram personality, accessing your desire and accessing your pain. So being able to admit to yourself, what are my dreams? What kind of life would I love to live? As well as speaking the truth, speaking that truth of the heart. The heart feels and knows truth.
Ooh, the ego doesn't like that.
I know. And then T stands for the three centers. So within the Enneagram, we have the mind, center of intelligence, heart, and body. So integrating and accessing those three centers. And then H is healing. Healing happens when you allow integration to happen and accept the full human potential. Yeah.
It's amazing on this show. We have quite a few people that really talk about healing without pharmaceuticals, without doctors. Of course we need Western medicine. You chop your arm off, you got to get it sewed back on and so on and so forth. But it's just so important, I think, to have that personal relationship with yourself before you can communicate with anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is really, really unique. And how do you support people into coming into a healthier version of themselves?
Yeah, so, when someone is able to access presence, then you have choice. Choice for exactly what we talked about at the beginning. Choice to, just even in the middle of a argument with your partner, when you can stop, breathe, be present, just one choice can shift your entire evening.
Oh, it's huge, yes.
One choice, one shift in that awareness, and keep coming back to presence.
Yeah, I know you talk about shifting. In the book I wrote years ago, the reason I wrote the book was because of something that my daughter McKenna said. I think she was 9, 10, 11, I don't know at the time, and somebody cut me off on the freeway, and I was like, God dang it, started ranting and raving, and she said to me, Dad, why did you allow that man to make you so angry? And it really dawned on me at that point that I was allowing the outside forces around me to control how I felt and how I was living my life. And, that was kind of that first clue to figuring out how to have my own choice. My own choice is myself, but I can't make my own choices until I know who I am on the inside. Now, you have, being somebody who's a professional in the Enneagram theory, I don't know why I couldn't think of that, there's wings that do happen on this thing, is what we talk about. So you're not always stuck in this one personality, which when you're happy, you tend to go to another wing, and when you're on the negative side, you go to another wing. Can you explain a little bit about that?
You do. So if you're looking at the Enneagram, you can see, for example, the 9, 6, and 3, and you can see that there's lines that go to each one. So, when you're in stress and times of trouble, you're gonna look like you may be a type 6 if you're a type 9, or if you need to take action and step into more of your strengths, then you could lean on your type 3, right? And that's the lines movement. You also have, for example, the type 4 is right next door to the type 3. So an introverted type 4 can lean on that wing and go out and be in action in the world. So you can strategize. And, here's the thing with the Enneagram is that you have to know where you are in order to get to where you want to be.
Right.
It's a map.
Well, and that's why I think doing this with your whole family and maybe even some of your coworkers that you work closely with, it's really important to understand this. Of course, you're going to have a lot of people that think it's a bunch of foo-foo and stuff, but I tell you what I've experienced with it, and I just have helped nurture relationships in such a way as to know, okay, I'm kind of being an ass right now. I'm being, I'm being that part of a number 9 that I don't want to be. And it allows you to be able to check your ego at the door.
That's awesome. I think it's really, really unique and valuable. So what's your dream with your business, and how can people find you? What would you like? How can they find you?
Yeah, you can email me at info@coachwithpam.com.
What's your phone number?
My phone number is 650-395-8957.
Okay.
And my website is www.coachwithpam.com.
And how long does this process typically take? I mean, do you have different packages or something along those lines?
I do. And the time that people work with me will depend on the person, depend on the goals, and we usually set those together.
Oh, that's cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So when are we signing up?
I have some coaches of my own that, so
do you?
I'm focusing on one coach at a
One
time.
coach at a time. Oh, not me. I'm
it does
ADD.
sound really neat.
I need 6
I'm trying
people
to
at a
focus
time.
on my practice, one coach, and my health.
Well, I'm gonna go back and look in that binder,
That
and
sounds really
I'll give
cool.
you that binder, and you can read through and take the test and see what you are, because that'll
gonna
help
hold it.
us all have much more fun on the air. I'm excited. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much,
joining us
Pam.
on the KIYS Video Web Radio Network for your healthy living. Don't forget to check out all our shows on the KIYSradio.com and check out our Facebook at Facebook/KIYS Radio, right? Don't forget to like us and give us your stars if you can. We appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.